Right, well, we're under a takeover tug of war, a transfer embargo. We've got a quarter final of a cup, and then 3 days later, we take on the team that are third in the Premier League. It's going to be interesting. Hello, boys and girls. Let me bring you up to speed on the evolution of Everton. I, of course, am Millers. Thank you for joining me on the journey. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We're at 194. I went backwards. We're devastated. 194 subs. I'd love to get to 200 relatively quickly. That'd be amazing. So thank you very much for joining us. That's my begging out of the way. Let me bring you up to date, right? So we currently have two people trying to take us over. Two tycoons, hopefully. I'm not entirely sure on that in terms of the club position, but that means we are under a transfer embargo, right? So there's nothing I can do in terms of bringing anybody in, and January's fast approaching, although in fairness, I don't really have the money to go and do that. So it's not the end of the world, if I'm honest. It would be the end of the world if I can't ship a couple out. I'd like to do that, and we'll get into that in a minute. The worrying thing is, in the media, it has been discussed that the new people that want to come in may well want to get rid of me. That'd be a short save, wouldn't it? But it's out of our control, so we can't worry about it. We've got a quarter final of the Cup today against Tottenham away. So big game for us because, again, silverware is a priority for what we're trying to do. We're trying to evolve the club. But then we've got to travel to Brighton away, who are third in the Premier League. We're currently 11th. We're not doing too badly. When were you last with us? Let's have a think. When were you last with us? I don't actually know. Was it the Ipswich game? It was, wasn't it? We did a double header. Of course we did. We did double header. We drew at Anfield. We did what Everton have literally just done. And we went and got ourselves back in the game. We went 2-0 down and then managed to pull ourselves back. Desmond, decent result. But then we got beat at home by United. Really disappointing. We threw the kitchen sink at them, but couldn't get anything, which is disappointing, obviously. Then we travelled to Brentford and got ourselves a draw. Decent result there. Beat Leicester, give them a tonking at our place, 4-0. Then travelled to Arsenal, who were second in the Prem. Got beat, expected to. And we've just taken on Chelsea at Goodison and won 1-0. Dour affair, but we managed to score from a corner. Tarkowski header. Lovely. That means we're 11th. And we're comfortable in 11th, you know. What's amazing, really, is the teams in and around us. You know, we've just beat Chelsea. Chelsea are 12th. Newcastle have had a bit of a fall from grace down to 9th. But look at United, 15th, really on the struggle bus. You know, so it's been an interesting few games, for sure. I am not sold on a lot of things in terms of this first-team playing squad. Dominic Calvert-Lewin needs wrapping in cotton wool. He's out again. This time it's a groin issue, I think. Groin issue. So he's out. Better was only just come back. I've had to bring in Sheriff from the under-21s. He's got all the potential in the world, according to the coaching staff. And he got 20-25 minutes against Chelsea because I've got no one else to throw up there. So he's in and around the first-team squad for the time being, purely because of necessity. This left-hand side is a problem for me. This I'm really pleased with. Roy's been fantastic. Maffeo works really well with him. Garner's an absolute revelation. This side, it's like there's nothing there. You know, Mikalenko does his best, in fairness, but I cannot get a tune out of Harrison, out of O'Neill. There is no one there that is giving me anything in terms of any kind of feeding. So I've had a sit down with Dwight McNeil, and basically we've said, listen, lad, you've got to improve. And I want a 7.1 from you on a regular basis in order to guarantee first-team football. And he said, it's a stretch, Gaff. I'll have a go. I want you to have a go because you're on 75 bags, son. So he's going to do that. But that is certainly an area where we need to look to strengthen. This area where we don't get a lot of creativity. Jesper's obviously on loan with us, so he's not going to be sticking around. I don't think I'll keep him anyway. He's not superb, is he? So he's not someone that I'm going to pull up trees to try and keep. So I'm not convinced by him. Abdul Decore, yeah, okay. Every now and again he's decent. Every now and again, but it literally is every now and again, and that's not enough for me. I need a little bit more. So again, I don't think we're going to keep him, and he's 30, so not really for us. So I've got active in the scouting world. We've spent a little bit more on our scouting budget. In fact, we're spending about 360 grand rather than 290. So there we go. But I've basically sent scouts to South America, Africa, and also Japan and the Baltics. So we're going out and we're trying to find young upcoming talent that we can bring in, nurture, and kick on into the first team. That's going to be my driver to try and build this team. And it's focused heavily on that left-hand side. Last point. Great intake of youth, I'm told. Obviously, we've not got to see any of the players yet, but it looks like a golden generation. So we shall see how that pans out in the coming weeks and months, as long as the board decide to keep me here. We'll see about that. Okay. Oh, by the way, Young wants to be playing first team football. I've said to him, you're not going to play it here, son. So we've set him on the unwanted list. We're going to try and offload him. We'll see if we can do it in the window. I don't know why you're trying to do it in December. No one's going to try and buy anybody in December. Think. Right, quarterfinal of the cup then. Okay, so yeah, agree with you, balance. We'll do that. We'll try and sit back a little bit. Interesting to see. Obviously, Spurs will be full strength. They've not had the injury problems that they've had in real life, so that's not going to be a problem for them. Our injury problems are most definitely a problem for us, though, for sure. So I am going to keep my commitment to Dwight McNeil. I'm going to throw him in. And I'm going to ask him to aim for his 7.1. That's what he's got to try and go and achieve. And if he isn't doing that, I've been very transparent with him. He won't be getting his time in the first team because he's just not good enough. We know Calvert-Lewin's out, so that's not a problem. Illiman and I still recovering from his broken leg, bless him. So he's going to be out for a little while yet. Wober's cup tied. He wasn't playing first team football anyway. He was kind of a backup centre-half signing, so I'm not too concerned with that. And then the rest of the team kind of picks itself. Lindstrom's a little bit more creative. I've got him in that playmaker role to try and feed our forward. It's not really giving me anything as yet, but I think that's a quality issue. That's how we're going to line up then. Let's give it a go. We're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, obviously one I'm very, very familiar with from a former save, but for us, it's a big, big game because it's a real opportunity to try and get some silverware on the board a little bit further down the line. So let's try and go and do it. Yes, we've got a big game in 3 days. Is it a game I'm expecting to win? No. Brighton are in tremendous form, and we've got to travel down to the Amex. Martin, again, hairdo, talk to me. Yes, a good performance is important. Absolutely. They're a confident bunch of lads. What sort of match are you expecting? I'm hoping we can edge it. They do some impressive stuff, though, which they do. Particularly in their hands. They're very attacking, aren't they? So fingers crossed we can be a little bit more balanced, keep the thing, and create something. Good start for Dwight McNeil. His first touch, he loses the ball. Mikalenko does win a kick back, though. Lindstrom, can you find a through ball for me? He's found a gap, though. Whoa, I liked that. He used the run of the forward and dragged his centre-half the other way. Very nice. Probably should have done better on the finish, if I'm being uber critical. But it was nice to see him try a little bit as our centre-halves build from the back, as they've been instructed to do. Focus play down the right. That's what we're looking to do now. Roy back to Tarkowski. Maffeo. Not many players drop into pockets, which is a problem for me, and it creates that problem because they can press on us quite easy. Basuma's almost through there, and they've took one away, and it's really disappointing. Let's have a look at this replay, right? So, it's not gone all the way back. It's a real shame it didn't go further back there because we could have talked about what I was really hoping to try and see. By the way, we've been unlucky there because Pickford's pushed, but he's pushed back into an area where you don't want your keeper to be pushing. What I was hoping for, let's have a quick look at the tactics board, right? What I was hoping for in that instance, where the ball's here, what you want to see is this player drop into a pocket of space because that's going to pull a midfielder in. If that pulls a midfielder in, your attacking playmaker can drop in here, your box-to-box moves over here, and you've got options to play triangles, right? That isn't what we see enough of, and I'm wondering whether, again, that's a quality thing, right? Is it a decision-making thing? I'm not sure. I certainly don't question James Garner. I think he's class. But for the rest of them, I really do question it, which is worrying me. But there we go. We're 1-0 down. Not what we wanted, obviously. As Tottenham have now got another highlight with Kulusevski on the ball, inside to Basuma, but Garner cuts it out. McNeil has to go backwards because there's 2 on him, Garner, into Branthwaite. We're playing down this left-hand side. Can we try and Harshaw? There's a world of space for Roy out there if you can find him. Pockets, better. Garner, good, into Roy, but it's short. The ball's short. You gave Roy no chance. Maffeo wins the first one, but Richarlison picks up the second. Well stepped in. Can we get out now? Can we get out? We're still very deep. Davis works his way back to Van der Ven. Inside to Ginter. Ginter maybe, not sure. Ratnick looking to find gaps, finds Bentancur, he finds Johnson. They are all over us at the minute, which is far from ideal. But in fairness, the possession's been our way. Only highlights have been theirs, which is a real shame. Anything going to come before half-time? No, we're into the dressing room. Okay, I want a better display. And I've been nothing but harsh with these lads in terms of team talks. I've been very straightforward. They've made a couple of changes, which is interesting. They're probably struggling just as much as we are and mindful of the weekend. I'm going to make changes on 60 and see if we can get anything from this. From a change perspective, right, let's have a look then. So McNeil 6.6, really poor, although you could argue on the opposite side we're actually worse. Tactics then, we're going to go a little bit more positive, try and be a little bit more aggressive on the ball. Armando Broja is going to come on that left-hand side, try and do something for us. Sheriff's going to come on mainly because of the fact that Beto's weak in terms of his fitness. Decore comes on for Lindstrom, see if he can do anything from distance. And then, are we going to make any other changes? I've got to try and... These guys, they're playing week in, week out, and it's a real problem in terms of fitness. So I am going to do it. I'm going to change that one. Mishu's going to come in. Again, only a kid. He's got a few minutes week in, week out, really, from us because of our situation. We've got a corner. Doesn't look like the subs have been made yet. Oh, no, we've not got a corner. No, move on. No joy for us there. Again, we've still got the lion's share of possession, but nothing is happening. A Tottenham Hotspur throw, again deep in our half. Van der Ven, Odebear, into Kulusevski's feet, trying to work an opportunity for a shot, but doesn't. Basuma will from distance, and Pickford pushes, or did it hit the bar? I think it was the bar. Decent effort from them. 75 minutes. Is there anything going to come of anything for us here? It doesn't look that way. Nothing is happening. Maybe a demand more. I'm not sure that's going to deliver anything with 5 minutes to go. Literally nothing is occurring for us at all. See, Mikalenko struggling and wants to be subbed. It's not what you want to see from your first team players when you've got a game in 3 days, but it just wasn't enough. And I think, all of these games have been really tight. They've been really tight. And I just think we lack that little bit of cutting edge. Little bit. It's not going to be a lot, 2 or 3 players into this team. Yeah, I think we can do things. Plenty of positives, Gary. Plenty of positives. Going to lose heavily. When you work hard for each other, but you can put a shift in, do well. Why did you persist with Roy? Well, I won't pretend their pleas couldn't be heard. Yeah, well, he could be, to be fair. I'm going with that. Roy played well enough to my standards. Roy's been superb, in fairness. So I'm not too concerned with him having one bad game. Benitez, what you're looking for? Oh, you're the England manager. England boss, Rafa Benitez. Crikey, did not see that happen. Right, next time you join me, we're going to be at the Amex taking on Brighton. Speak shortly. Welcome back. We're now in Brighton and we're about to take on Brighton in the Premier League. It's the 23rd of December, so as usual at this time of year, fixtures are thick and fast. So we've got another game in 3 days and we've got another game in 3 days. So I've just got to be a little bit mindful of the lads and try and make sure we look after them if we can. So I have made a quick change. Branthwaite's come off. Woe gone in at a left centre-back position. Big unit, quite happy with him to go in there. 6'2", left-footed, quite happy for him to play. So there's no issues with that there. Other than that, we are going to remain unchanged, except I've changed Beto up top. Apologies. I've thrown Brozier in. See if he can offer me something different, because we're just not finding anything in terms of any kind of joy. When we've not got Calvert-Lewin up there, we struggle. Beto does well in the Cups, but we've only played lower league teams in the Cups. And as you saw when we played Spurs, he didn't exactly step up to the plate. But other than that, we're going to remain unchanged. We're going to persist with McNeil, give him the time that I promised him, and then we're going to see just how he does. In the break between this game and the last, I've been told that we've failed to find any attacking midfielder lefts or any defensive defenders left. So left backs, backs, which blows my mind. But again, when we go back to our staff menu, we know, right, that the quality we've got in that recruitment department is really, really poor. And that's why we're not finding the right level of players. Another focus that I've got to try and look for. Scott with his wig. Roy's been in good form lately. Thank you. Yes, I mean, not according to the last journalist I spoke to. Picked a team to win the match, Scott. That's the idea. How are you approaching the task of keeping the Premier League's leading scorers quiet? It's all over to them. Listen, we do what we do. We get on the grass and then we let the lads get over that white line and do their job. Lamptey, like him in real life, doesn't get a lot of praise, nor really a lot of game time, but he's nippy, isn't he? I really like a nippy fullback that can get forwards. Brighton are going to look to play football, be under no illusions. They're a very, very good team. And I say that as they're almost through on goal and they just scored with a minute on the clock. So that's good news, isn't it? Matoma, behind the curtain, so we're in February. They've just beat Chelsea 3-0. Did you see that touch by Matoma where he plucks it out of the sky, shifts it, and then finds a corner? Superb. Superb. It really was. And it won't get the replays it deserves because he's a player for him for Brighton, but he's quality. He really is. So, not the best start for us. Again, I was very honest in the Spurs game, right? This isn't a game I'm expecting to win. But I would like us to have a go. I'd like us to try and do what we do. I'm looking for a little bit of possession if we can. I'm looking for us to create a couple of chances if we can. But I'm very mindful that we don't have the same level of quality that we're coming up against week in, week out in the Premier League. McNeil's come back and won the ball at, and then he's given it away. Solly March tucks away because of a Dwight McNeil error. He does all the hard work doing the hard yards. He wins it back and then he's lazy with it. Why can't we just play Pickford there? Or at worst, hook it. Schoolboy nonsense. Absolute schoolboy nonsense. Puts us 2-0 down. We've had no chances, nothing on target. They've now got a corner. This could be an absolute welly-in if we don't pick ourselves up. A shout from the touchline. Let's see if that does anything for the lads. You can smile all you like, Dwight. 6.3 is absolutely appalling. Brighton free kick. Box looking for Lewis Dunk, sorry. So I've got Dwight McNeil on the brain now. Lindstrom, can you look after it for me for a minute? Well, it didn't go in. I don't need to see your replay where I can't even see the line, do I? Think, Football Manager. 2-0 down, half-time, furious. Hands on hips, furious. If we don't shoot, we're not going to win. Michael Owen tactics. Let's go and have a shot, shall we? Into the second half, a little bit more possession. That's nudging up. That's good to see. At some point, I'm going to have to make some changes purely because I think this game might have to be given up on as we focus on West Ham, who we have in 3 days. 70 minutes. We're going to make those changes now. Let's have a see if we've got a highlight. Woba into Mikalenko. A bit of a hospital ball from McNeil, but Woba dealt with it into Garner. Who can we find? Garner. It's around the corner for Roy. Roy's at the beans. If he finishes it, that could have been a different last 25 minutes because we could have had a right good go at him, but he didn't. He's pulled it and he's at the post. I'm going to make the changes, and I'm going to make the changes with West Ham in mind. So I'm going to do that and protect a couple. Harrison, on you go. Dwight McNeil has been absolutely woeful. I'm going to send Ashley Young on. That's how bad you've been, Dwight. I'm sending Ashley Young on for you. How many is that? 4. Abdul Doucouré for Ghana. Look after you, 2. And we're just going to see out the rest of the game. Apologies for the video, because basically I'm saying I've had enough of this one now. But in reality, I am. I've got an eye on West Ham. West Ham's at home. It's a game we really do need to be winning. I wasn't expecting to come here and win. And the performance the lads have put in really shows that we're not in any way, shape or form ready to be playing at that kind of level of the table, which is disappointing. But I think I kind of outlined it at the start, right? We're lacking quality. I don't like what I saw from the team. That's my Romain. What do you want to see? Yes. What's your reaction? The pattern of play didn't closely resemble what we worked on. And I agree, it didn't. Such a disappointing result. It's not back to the chase. It's not. No, listen, we need quality. We need quality. Yeah, obviously, he's a great goal, fantastic strike. He's a great player. You know, I'd love one or two of them with that kind of quality in our team. And we're 11th. Okay, so let's all settle down. The media had us 15th. The board wanted mid-table. All right, we might be under a takeover, and that might change. But they wanted mid-table. That's where we are. We've been beating the teams in and around us. We've been struggling against these boys, which you would expect. West Ham on Boxing Day is a massive, massive game. Massive game. If we can get that one won at Goodison, then, you know, I might be in a slightly better place. A slightly better place because it does give us the opportunity. 3 points, 26. We're sniffing around mid table still and we're happy. Lose it, and that's a problem, right? So, when are we going to come back? My thought process would be to come back towards the end of January, right? Fulham away, maybe. We'll have had all of January. We can see if we've had any movement. If there's any movement on the takeover, of course, I'll come back sooner and let you know where we are. But let's get through winter, see where we end up with the window coming to a close, and hopefully we'll be in a place where we get a good view towards the end of the season. I hope you've enjoyed that. I've struggled through it. Thank you very, very much for watching. Do feel free to subscribe, like, all of that stuff that I keep forgetting to tell you to do all the time, but please do. Thank you very, very much. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.